So, tell me a little bit about your background.
Well, let's see. Originally, I'm from El Salvador, from Central America. And when I was a year and a half old, I moved to New Orleans. And then after that, it's been quite an adventure. I lived in New York and in Sweden. At one point, I thought I was Swedish. When I from 4 to 9 years old, I attended a Swedish school and spoke Swedish fluently, and had friends with your complexion and hair, and I just thought I was rather unique. But
that's great.
Anyway.
So you learned English as a young little kid, so
right.
you were bilingual.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
And you came up, where was the majority of your time?
The majority of my time, actually, we moved almost every 3.5 years. So
this
there
was
wasn't.
With your parents?
This was with my parents.
Okay.
Now, since I was 26, which would be 1986, to the present, I've lived here in Georgia. So I do consider myself a Southern belle.
Okay, and you are married to this kind of Italian guy, right?
Yes.
Tell me about him.
Yes. Oh, my husband. He's the best husband ever. He loves to cook. He's my anchor. He's a great husband. And I have beautiful children too. I'm extremely blessed.
Children. You got good kids?
I have 5 beautiful children. Mercedes.
Somebody wants more about the husband, but we'll get back to that. Go ahead with the kids.
Mercedes, she's 27 years old. She's married to a wonderful man, an Italian man as well. Her name is Mercedes Bruno, and she lives in El Salvador. And Christina, I am so proud of her because she pursued her dream of becoming an actress. And not only is she talented in that area, but she also writes and produces. And I know that she's going to fulfill her purposes that the Lord has called her in Hollywood. And then I have my twins, Christian and Lauren. And Christian's my one and only son, and very proud of him because he's a hard worker. He turned out to be so wonderful, right? He sets his goals and he accomplishes it, and he's a very good guy and loves God. And Lauren, his twin, they're fraternal twins, but she's beautiful. She carries the peace of the Lord on her, and is compassionate with others, and she's called to the mission field. They're both 19 presently, and then the last but not least, Catalina, she's 14 going on 30. I always call her my precocious child. Yes. And she's an administrator type of person, very can-do type of person, and loves God. And she's really been one that's been at my side through all of this. She's been very strong for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm very blessed with my whole family.
And one little white lapdog. So, can you talk about your journey here? You've been on a little adventure that you probably didn't write out for your life here. Can you talk a little bit about kind of what happened and where you are now?
Well, it's funny because 10 days ago, even though I had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in the stomach that had metastasized to my intestines, it really, initially I was excited. I thought, well, okay, I guess it's time to go home, and so I was ready to go, and I was we were actually planning my funeral, and I wanted everything very peaceful because as Christians we have the Lord, and so death has lost its sting, and it's all good. At least, yeah, there's that time of separation from your loved ones, but eventually, if they're saved, well, we can rejoin in heaven. But in the middle of that time, maybe 3 weeks after they told me that I had this condition, I realized that the Lord had actually paid the price. 2,000 years ago, He paid the price. He carried my diseases, took my diseases and my infirmities, and bore our pains. And so, to me, the gospel, I knew He had died for our iniquities and was wounded for our transgressions, but to understand that by His stripes we're healed, and that He actually paid for this, it just excited me. And rather than getting excited about going home, I prayed to God. He gave me that revelation in the Word of God that this was true. And so I've been standing on His Word. And it has been miraculous. They had said I should have died maybe a month and a half ago, and that's not the case. I've been feeling terrific, but the last 10 days, I have been feeling more pain, physical pain, and but I was just sharing with you that symptoms that I don't want to emphasize the symptoms and look at the symptoms, but I'm keeping my eyes on the Lord, and so it's rough sometimes because physically my strength is going, but internally I feel the resurrection power of Jesus Christ living in me. My inner man is strong. And it's all good. Whether, sometimes we don't understand why things happen. And this is something that I really want people to understand, is that even if the results, let's say I'm standing, which I am, standing on the Word of God, and if I ended up going home, that doesn't take away the truth. The truth is that Jesus died for us, that He bore our pains and carried our diseases. It's true, and there's nothing like that to have the faith. My faith is my evidence, and that's all I need. Faith is my evidence.